Test, test. Test, test. Okay, I'm starting to get everything set up for the stream. Let's see. So let me know if you guys can hear me. I believe everything is good to go. Okay, so it looks like it's all going. So, since the last episode, or since the previous stream basically crashed, it got stuck on this page. I'm basically gonna have to be showing, or on my end at least, just showing yeah, I was kind of running in multiple locations because for some reason it just froze on this screen right here. So I'm not sure what was going on with it. I mean, it looks like it's okay. I mean, everything's blinking. And then I just didn't notice that it wasn't showing until later on. Or until, you know, a little late into the race, and I noticed that nothing was showing up on the streaming screen. So definitely was definitely an issue. So let's go ahead and take a look at the qualifying. So we already qualified. As you can see, all the player cars are still in the back, but they are slowly catching up. So you see Portal Wilson, Rojas, and Walker are top 3 player cars, and they're, you know, pretty close to the end of the pack of the computer cars. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on them. Let's see, what else? Where's Batson? Batson's 34 or 31st, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on him just to make sure that he does well in this race. Hopefully he can do well. If not, then, you know, oops, because he's the one that has basically completed, I think, 7 total laps. So let us basically get to the race. So as we look at the back of the pack, so I have the ticker working, so we should be able to see in real time car's ratings. So let's about the mid pack of the player cards, just so we can see, just in case anything happens. And as they are coming down for the green flag of the Coca-Cola 600. And here we go. So green flag and everybody is racing. Here we're looking at Walker Sr. He's having a decent season so far. As they exit turn 2. Oh, there's a crash. Looks like Jones is sideways. As we take a look as everybody's racing back to the line, there's multiple 3 wides in the front. As they exit turn 4, they're coming to take the caution. Man, that is a ton of cars. Looks like it was only a light wreck. Looks like Jones got spun out, but he was in front of multiple cars, and multiple cars may have taken a little bit of damage. We're definitely going to have to take a look at that. Though it does look like he is catching back to the field, so it doesn't look like he had any or has any multiple damage or a ton of damage. It looks like maybe something wrong with Morse. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. But we are going to take a look at Jones's crash now and see what happened to cause him to spin out. Let's go ahead and pause that. And as we're looking at this, you can go ahead and look at the top ticker for the current standings. So it looks like they're exiting turn number 2, it looks like. See if there's a good camera angle to see this. And oh, yeah, looks like there was some issues. Yeah, it looks like 21, I think, of Ice and 41 of Brindley get into each other, which causes Jones to check up. Yeah, looks like Ice gets just in the corner of the 41. I believe that is a Brindley. And that causes the 18 to check up. And, well, basically, Tanker was there. So there was nowhere for Tanker to go. And Jones just didn't have anywhere to go. Looks like the 24 and 36 were able to stay out of it. And Jones, beautiful driving, spins out, able to almost correct himself. But he does get into the wall a little bit. We take a look. Looks like, yeah, 21 Ice Brindley and Ice and Brindley 41 were able to basically get back into the race and race back to the flag. So we will definitely see how that wreck affects Jones, as we did see him slowly catch up to the pack. You know, he's already caught up to the pack. So we'll have to keep an eye on him, see if there's any issues from that crash. I think there was just some light damage on his right side from basically tapping into the wall. It doesn't look like he's going into the pit, so it's nothing major. But it's definitely something we should keep an eye on. Though it doesn't look like there's too much damage. There may be some rear damage into him, but it looks like he may have just gotten pushed into the back of the field. So as we're taking a look at the top 10 at the top ticker, I don't know where the first player car is. Let's go ahead and take a look. Doesn't look like anybody was able to get up to the top 20. Well, it looks like Portland Wilson is the top player car in 23rd. So definitely keep an eye on him. It looks like he qualified very well today. So I think he has a pretty good car. And it looks like, what's that? Rojas in the 22, Walker Sr. Jones, no relation, the other Jones, Orth, Langford, Hannah. I think that, yeah, this Hannah is a rookie driver. This is his first, I think, official race. Lopez, Morse, Batson, Ice, Lombard, Brindley, Tanker, Cross, Bishop, Orman, Higginbotham, and Jones round out all of the player cars. As we come around to see if we are going to be able to go green next time by, as it looks like Shear is in, yeah, is in first place again. Him, Kinshaw and the 53 are both having very good years. I think they both at least won one race this so far. So we will have to keep an eye on them. They're definitely very good drivers this year. So it looks like we'll at least have one more caution flag, as we are, looks like, on lap number 4. As we're looking at it, doesn't look like Jones went into the pits at all. So it looks like he feels his tires are fine. As you know, I would think that he would have gone into the pits, but it doesn't look like he is. So as we take it, Higginbotham and Orman in 24 and 36, they were definitely able to keep out of that crash, which was, you know, very, very good, because the car was spinning them. They didn't check up. They didn't try to frantically get out of the way. They kind of matched the spinning car, and once it was safe, they're able to get past him. So, and definitely good driving for Jones, as he was able to spin and keep it out of the wall for the most part, as he only took a little bit of damage on his right side coming out of the spin, but was able to keep going, and doesn't look like he really went into the pits for that. So definitely have to keep an eye on his tires, because anytime you spin, definitely has a bunch of wear gets put onto your tires. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on him and see when he plans on pitting, if he does. Now this is a 20 lap sprint, so there really is no really need to pit, especially on green flag. So definitely this would have been a great time, since I mean he already is in last place, to pit, but we'll definitely have to keep an eye on him. So the pace car will be coming in on this after this lap, so we can go ahead and scroll up to the first place car, Higginbotham, and go ahead and see if we can get a good camera angle of this green flag that Portland Wilson is going to lead the player cars to, as they are coming around. We can see if we can get a couple of laps of green in before anybody else wrecks. I know turn 2 is very hard for the drivers to get through without wrecking, especially if there is a lap car in front of them, as they take the green flag. And we see multiple cars in the front spreading out, but it looks like the back is able to keep in a single file, or at least the most part. Well, there's a car that is, oh, it looks like there may have been a spin in the back. It looks like the green flag will stay out. So there's a ton of cars racing in the front, 2 wide, 3 wide. Ooh, and there's not going to be a good, as he's going to come back in. Is he able to? Wow, and he just bumps the 8. I'm not sure who the 8 is or the 29, but he came out, and usually they just barrel into the cars as they're coming in, but he, I guess, just the way that the track was designed, he was able to come in. So definitely good racing there, as there, it looks like it's 4 wide in the back with, looks like Tanker, Lombard, and Cross. Though it looks like everybody are starting to sort themselves out. Definitely racing hard in the back, though it looks like, yeah, there is some damage with Jones. He has really fallen off the pace, as well as a few cars, but I think they ended up, ooh, looks like, there may be a wreck right into the, I think that Lopez, Jones, the other Jones, Ice, And oh, he is on his roof. I think that's Lopez in the 43. His cars are still coming down. Oh, and is that the new? Yeah, that is. There's ice. Is that the new Hannah? Yep, Hannah right there on his lid, spinning as cars are slamming into him. We're definitely getting a caution for that. And those cars are racing back to the line. Huge crash by Hannah, the new driver. So we can go ahead and go take a look at that wreck. As we find Tanker was in that wreck, we can take a look at what it looked like from his point of view as we rewind the tape and the heavy damage in the front. We take a look, see who started this wreck. There in the back. In the back, Lopez and Hannah both get into each other. And as they're sliding, Lopez really nothing really to do. He just slides right back into the track, right in front of Ice and Jones. Lopez slides right in the middle of Tanker, takes a hard driver's side slam, ends up going on his roof, flipping over, sliding into Ice. And there's Hannah, his damage right there, 37. Looks like 37 to Batson. Oh, Batson again takes a hard front end hit. His day is probably over as we see Hannah, it looks like that 55. Yeah, Bishop, the 55 of Bishop slamming into him as he's on basically a top spin, sliding on his roof. And again, another hit. That time by Orman, hard in the front. That's one ends up riding him, but Hannah, he is done as he is not even able to get going again. As we can take a look at the cockpit. Of Orman, and as he's driving, he's trying to stay as far down as he can. We're not sure. Yeah, he sees Hannah spinning and then hard hit into Bishop as he's slowing down and is starting to try to go and trying to find a place or a spot to go, and just not sure what happened. He definitely see him, but he went right into Hannah hard too. You see heavy damage. As we watch Hannah hard into the turn, but ends up just getting tapped as he's trying to get back in the field, and over he goes. He is basically on a ride. Cars are slamming into him as he's trying to as he's just sitting there praying, trying to make sure nothing bad happens. But yeah, that last hit ends up flipping him back over, but hard time. I mean, first race in first race here, and hard wreck, and he is definitely out for the day. So definitely not a good start for Hannah in this season. Yeah, it looks like I believe Lopez probably turned into him. But again, hard wreck by Lopez. As we see the ticker going on, you see live rankings already. So we can start the race again after seeing the replay of that massive crash. Looks like the pace car is trying to figure out where exactly to enter in as he goes through Shear. And it looks like he's going to ghost through Kenshaw as well. As cars are taking the caution for the second time today, though the first time there was only a light wreck, but this time there was a massive wreck started by Lopez and the rookie driver of Hannah. Definitely hope Hannah's okay, as he flipped over multiple times and started basically being a top hat. And as we take a look at Lombard, he's getting out of the pits. He had massive damage in his front, but it looks like he's going to be able to come out and see if he can get a couple of places if he's able to stay out of any wrecks, any of the remaining wrecks. It looks like Ice 32nd. Jones 31st. He was in a first wreck. Basically he got turned around but was able to keep it off the wall. Morris is in 30th. Higginbotham, Brindley, Langford, Orth, Walker, Portland, Wilson, Rojas. Let's see, any other player car ahead? I don't believe so. For the most part, the cars in the front have stayed out of any, real big trouble. It's been mostly the player cars trying to battle for those top positions that have been just getting into each other. So we come around, I think we'll have at least one more pace lap. But as we see, Kenshaw and Shear both definitely having a very, very good season this year. I think both have won at least one race, maybe even two for Shear. I'm not 100% sure, though, so it looks like Kenshaw and Shear will be battling, but the 92, I believe, of Gennard is also a very good car. So we'll have to keep an eye on those three for the win, as there are some cars in the back that could definitely sneak in if there are any issues between Shear and Kenshaw. We will definitely keep an eye on that. So we see Lombard rejoins the back of the pack. I'm not sure if there's any lap cars down, but I know lap cars can cause issues in the front. I'm not sure if Lombard was able to get his damage fixed before he went a lap down, so we'll definitely see as they're coming around, see if he hops out and takes his place. But we'll keep an eye on that. But overall, it has been a decent race. One so far, a little large crash, but was only with about 5 different cars. We can take a look at some of the top cars. So it looks like 28th, Brindley, 29th is Higginbotham, 30th is Morris, 31st is Jones. We take a look, this should be, this looks like it will be the last caution lap of today. We are on lap 12 of 20, so we are about halfway through. We definitely see how this hurts or helps or hurts anybody with last about 8 laps to go. It's definitely time for a lot of movement. As we take a look at Rojas and see how well he takes this green flag. Alright, so it looks like pace car is entering turn 3. And we are getting ready to get on the second half of the Coca-Cola 600. Definitely a great track to race on. So this is one of the updated tracks. So I'm starting to download all the updated tracks for all the future races, just so that we can have the best looking tracks as well as the best looking cars. As they're coming around to take the green flag, and it is green, and we see multiple cars in the front split off as they get runs. As we see very little movement in the back, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that. It looks like Rojas in 22 and Higginbotham are going to fight And oh, it looks like they get into each other a little bit, but they are able to save it. Now it is 3 wide with Walker, Porterville, and Lopez. But it looks like Orth is getting in on this. And Lane... oh, okay, so they were about to get into 4 wide. But it looks like the 19 was able to pull off a little bit before they got too much into it. Because 4 wide does not work well in this track as they get into 4 wide. As they come out, looks like there are a couple cars that are off the pace. We'll have to keep an eye on them. As Orth is trying to close the door on the 19th. I think Langford, it looks like there are parts. Oh, there is a wreck right in the start-finish line. Oh, it looks like the 11 of Evans in the way, and Jones gets a little tap. We take a look. Who is that? That's Daughter. That's Michael, Parsons, Evans. And they have finished getting back to the line. Oh, that little tap by Jones looks like he caused some issues. That looks like Lombard. I'm not sure. Looks like Ice has some back damage. I'm not sure if that was from a previous wreck. Doesn't look like he has too many issues though it does look like there are some issues. There's Parsons. He looks like he has some heavy damage on his side. Everybody's going back. Oh, it looks like Portland Wilson. I don't think he was in that wreck, but it looks like he may be having some engine trouble. So let's go ahead and find, here's Donder. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what happened in that wreck. So it looks like it happened in about the middle of the field of mostly all computer cars. So it didn't look like Donder was in it, so we're going to see what happened on his end. It was right in the front stretch. So it actually looks like there was something going on before him. Oh yeah, there it is, right there. Looks like somebody just got clipped. Let's go ahead and just take the roof cam. And let's take a ride with Michaels. Well, it looks like he gets clipped. Nothing really he can do as he slides into the field. And as you can see, multiple cars are coming. There's nothing he can do. He starts going, and it looks like he's slow enough he's going to be able to get out of the way of most people. So let's take a look. Yes, Evans comes. Evans full speed into the driver's side. He really didn't have anywhere to go. As we scroll, yeah, look, all the cars are just trying to get out of the way. And as we see Parsons, it looks like he may have just been wrong place, wrong time, just got smushed, yep, by Donder. And oh, he almost goes over. But it looks like they are able to save it. He gets, yeah, that was, I think, the clip by Jones. Yeah, Jones is coming up. He's trying to stay out of the way. Spotter's telling him good, and yeah, he just barely clips, looks like Donder, which is definitely causing some engine issues. We'll definitely have to see if that light hit ends up taking him out of the race. As we take a look at some of the pits, 57 of Michael, he is out. Portland Wilson, he's still in the pits. We'll definitely see if he's out. Evans, I don't know if they're going to be able to fix him. I don't believe we're going to be able to fix him, but we'll have to see. Parsons, looks like Reynolds, heavy front damage, but they are able to get him out pretty quickly. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on him. As with Ken Shashir, still first place, then Chung is in third place. Looks like Jannard dropped back to fifth place. And it looks like Orth in 18th is the first player car. We'll definitely have to see how well he's able to get going in the second half. We're on lap 16, so it looks like we may be able to get at least one more lap of green in. Basically a sprint to the end. We'll definitely have to see if we're able to get, I believe we will be able to. I think the math is right. We'll definitely have to take a look. Now look at Parsons is back in. Evans is still in the pits, but it doesn't like really any work is being done on his car. Yeah, so Parsons, it's good. As we're here, we can go ahead and take a look at some of the standings. So Evans finally reported out that he is going to be out for the day. So yeah, and same as Portland Wilson. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of the 17 player cars are out. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that are in. And they are all fighting now for a top 20 position. Basically, all the cars racing right now are probably going to get a pretty good payday, as you really only need to get to top 30 to make money in this, but we will definitely have to see if they are able to get further in the race in the last couple of laps, as really anything can happen, and especially in this track with only a couple laps remaining. It looks like they're coming to get lap number 18. And it looks like the lights are off, so it'll be basically, I think, a green-white checker. And then we'll be able to see who wins the Coca-Cola 600 and what player car is going to add a ton of points to its Rookie of the Year score. So we can go ahead and go to, I believe, fourth. He is the first player car, and we can take a look at him as they come along. So we want to get probably this one, or this camera angle, as they're coming along on lap 18 of 20. It looks like they will take one more lap. As they enter turn 3 and 4, everybody's getting ready to get the green flag for basically a sprint to the end. We can see if Orth is able to get a couple more positions, and if everybody else can stay clean in this last lap or two. As they come to get the green flag. And here we go. As many cars jump out to the side, in the front. Oops. As they're going 2 wide, 3 wide. As there's a battle for the lead. As Chung gets pushed out to the outside, Jannard and Shear are battling. We can see as they get the white flag, we take a look at the back of the pack, It doesn't look like any player car is going to have a chance to compete for a couple more positions as there are no issues. It looks like mostly battling for position as Orth and Langford are basically going to be battling as who gets to start or who gets to finish ahead of the rest of the player cars. As it doesn't look like Orth is going to take it. And there he goes. And he takes the top position for player cars. And I'm not sure, I think maybe Shear won that one. We weren't really paying attention of the lead, but we'll definitely see after the standings get released, the official standings get released. Yeah, it looks like there are many cars rushing in to get into those pits. There's probably a lot of bumping and shoving as they enter the pit lane. Let's take a look at the official standings. So Kinshaw, up to 53, wins the Coca-Cola 600. And Shear was basically right beside him. And then if the players, Orth finishes 18th. With Langford basically battling it out, and then Walker, Brindley, Higginbotham, and Morse all in top 20 positions, as well as Lombard, Ice, and Evans. Let's see, the top player who left was Rojas, but basically anybody behind Michael loses money. So again, it looks like Batson, though he did, I think, finish a couple of laps, did end up crashing out again. So we'll definitely see how well what that happens to the standings. But again, thank you so much for joining us for a quick Coca-Cola 600 as we see Kinshaw winning. A close race with Shear at the last lap as a green-white checkered comes out. And Orth finishes ahead of every player car. All right, thanks for joining us, and see you next race.